Joe. Crazy Joe. Yeah, I'm Crazy Joe. I be running through the snow. Got no pants, got no shirt, got no mother.
Good morning. Welcome back to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. I'm Crazy Joe back at the Regal. If you'll excuse me, I have my hands full. I still have my... I don't know that I could film and carry all this. I'm going in there. We're going to see the new Witchboard, remake of the 1980s film Witchboard, directed by Chuck Russell, who was the director of Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and the remake of The Blob and The Mask with Jim Carrey. This is my second movie of the day, so I already have my popcorn and drink. I took my daughter to the movies earlier, drove her home, and now I'm coming back. So it's going to be hard for me to carry all this stuff in and film, so I'll catch you on the inside, but we're going to go see which... All right, I already took my seat, got myself situated. Like I showed you, my hands were full. But we're back in Theater 20, which is where I took my daughter to see a movie in Theater 20 just last night. But there it is, Witchboard, remake of the old 80s film. Talk about a movie not getting a lot of marketing. I didn't even know this film existed until 2 days ago when Little Movie Perp told me. And I'm usually someone who has my finger on the pulse of these things. So for this thing to slip in under the radar without me knowing about it tells you there clearly hasn't been a lot of marketing, but it's a good director. So let's check this out. Let's get a good thumbnail shot here. There you go. There's our thumbnail shot. Let's go check this out. Okay, I'm back from seeing Witchboard, the remake of the 1986 film Witchboard by Kevin Tenney. I met Kevin Tenney once at the Phoenix Sci-Fi and Horror Film Festival around 2007. Seemed like a nice enough guy. He was there promoting he's made some good movies like Witchboard and Night of the Demons. But when I met him, he was promoting one of his lesser films, which I believe you could watch now for free on Tubi, called, I think it was called Brain Dead or something, not to be confused with Peter Jackson's Brain Dead. Maybe I have that title wrong. It was a zombie film, and it was truly, truly awful. Not of the caliber of the original Witchboard or Night of the Demons. But Kevin Tenney made this original 1986 classic, which stars the late Tawny Katane, and this is a film about a Ouija board. And the new one, the remake by Chuck Russell, best known as the director of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Mask with Jim Carrey, the remake of The Blob. Not that everything Chuck Russell's done has been great. He's also done some real stinkers like Bless the Child with Kim Basinger, one of the worst movies of the 2000s. Not good at all. But, we haven't seen a Chuck Russell movie in a while. He had one in 2022. He hasn't been as active as he used to be. And this is sort of a remake of Witchboard. Now, the end credits listed as inspired by Kevin Tenney's original screenplay for Witchboard. This is more of a reimagining than a remake. The distinction there being that it kind of rethinks the story from square one. This does not tell the same story as this film. The story is wildly different. They're not similar at all. Only the concept of the board in this film, an out-and-out Ouija board, and in the new film, it's called a pendulum board. And they even make a distinction in the new film. Someone says, isn't a Ouija board a toy? And they go, yes, a Ouija board is a toy. But this is hundreds of years older than the Ouija board. This is the real deal. It's about a young couple that is opening a restaurant in New Orleans, an organic restaurant. And they're out in the woods picking mushrooms for their restaurant. And they find this circular, sort of like a Ouija board. They find this circular board. They don't know what it is, but the art is beautiful. It's, carved out of wood. They're like, this is beautiful. Let's put this in the restaurant. They take it back with them. Well, the ex-girlfriend of the guy who, the male aspect of this couple, his ex-girlfriend shows up and she knows a thing about antiquities. And she sees it and she immediately knows this is a pendulum board. and she shows our lead, who I just saw the movie last night, and all the characters' names escape me. We'll get to that in a minute. She shows her how to use it, and it ends up conjuring evil spirits. And eventually this film gets to a storyline where our lead character ends up having her mind swapped with a witch that was being burned at the stake in the past. So the witch comes to the future, takes over her body. She ends up in the witch's body in the past, being burned at the stake. Whole body swap thing. And and then the witch is now wreaking havoc on her life in her body, trying to take out her patrons at the restaurant. It is not good. Not good. I'll be frank. I hated this movie. I hated this remake of Witchboard. I did not enjoy it even a little bit. I thought it was dull, very dull. Like, I was struggling to keep my eyes open. Now, I have sleep apnea. If I fall asleep or if I'm getting sleepy in a movie, it doesn't mean the movie's bad. It just means I got sleep apnea, and you turn the lights out and maybe my mind starts to drift. This is literally a case where I was struggling to stay awake because I was bored. This one, it was boredom. It was boredom with the story. I mentioned I don't remember the characters' names. It's a day later. I don't remember any of these characters' names. None of them stuck with me. Like, that's the thing. Like, sometimes you're watching a movie or a TV show and you realize that you're several episodes into the TV show, you're an hour into the movie, and you don't know the name of the main character. It happens sometimes. That is a surefire sign that you are not at all engaged with this film. So I mentioned going into the theater that I didn't even know there was a remake of Witchboard. I had no idea this film was coming out. Well, I looked into it. This film premiered at film festivals in July of 2024. It is now August of 2025, over a year later, and this film is just now hitting theaters. Usually that is a sign that the studio had no faith in the project. If a project's going to sit that long, sit on the shelf, there's usually a reason. Not always. Let's not forget, the classic horror film Trick or Treat is a film that famously Warner Brothers had no faith in, and it's now considered a modern classic. People love that movie. And Warner Brothers looked at that and said, we can't do anything with this. Nobody's going to be interested in this. And they dumped it direct to video. So that's not always true. But usually if a film sits that long, it's kind of a danger sign. But what's interesting with this film is I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes scores, and it's fresh. Not a high fresh rating. It's not like in the 90s. It's like 69%. But that's still a fresh rating. And I can't believe that many critics liked this. I mean, to each their own. Art is subjective, right? But, man, I didn't dig this at all. I was really bored. I was looking at my watch. When is this thing going to end? And when it finally did, I was so ready to go. I was so ready to go. Stick with the original. Stick with Kevin Tenney's original from 1986. You're better off with this one than the new one. But that's just my opinion. If you're a fan of Chuck Russell, if you're a fan of the original and you really want to see the remake, if you watch the trailer and it looks intriguing to you, if there's anything drawing you to this film, be sure and go check it out for yourself. Because like I said, I didn't care for it, but it does have a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which means your mileage may vary. Maybe you will think it's great. I don't know. You tell me down below if you have a differing opinion, and we respect all opinions here. But I'm sorry, I didn't like this one. All right, until next time, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open it, a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander adamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. I know we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.